and Happy New Year from everyone here at MyConsultant. A policy implemented to help speed up temporary resident visas has been terminated, and the financial requirement for international students has been released. We'll give you all the details and explain what this means for you on MyConsultant. In this week's episode, we're covering new measures to help Canadians affected by the Israel and Hamas conflict. Next, the temporary resident visa policy terminated, followed by the 2024 IEC welcoming of international youth. Stay with us as I share the plan to create a new pathway for undocumented immigrants living in Canada. And Tina will explain the revised international student requirements. This week's episode of My Consultant is brought to you by Scotiabank.
Canada has recently announced temporary immigration measures to support the relatives of Canadian citizens and permanent residents who are currently in Israel, the West Bank of Gaza, as well as Israelis and Palestinians who are already in Canada. The federal government will be providing free exempt study permits or open work permits to the family members. The government will also fast-track temporary resident applications and expand status to extended families of Canadians in Gaza. For more information about these measures, please visit canada.ca.
The temporary public policy to process temporary resident visa applications in the IRCC inventory is no longer in effect. Last year, on February 28, 2023, Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada, the IRCC, implemented this temporary policy to simplify and speed up the processing of temporary resident visas, abbreviated as TRVs, to help address the backlogged inventory that bloomed during the COVID-19 pandemic. The policy was successful in clearing most of the older TRV cases. The IRCC says it has helped them deliver on their commitment to speed up the processing of TRV applications. The termination of this policy does not affect those who are already issued a visa, and they can continue to travel to Canada until their visa expires. The IRCC department assures that they will continue to process TRVs as quickly as possible to respond to the growing number of individuals who wish to visit Canada.
The 2024 season of International Experience Canada, that is IEC program, is now open. This year, the program will allow 90,000 applicants from over 30 countries the opportunity to gain Canadian work experience. IEC is a reciprocal program that allows Canadian and international youth aged 18 to 35 to work and travel in each other's countries.
The capital is preparing to create a pathway to citizenship for hundreds of thousands of undocumented immigrants who have lived and worked in Canada illegally for years. According to the Immigration Minister, Mark Miller, that new pathway will start with construction workers. The Immigration Minister explained that he is preparing to create a broad and comprehensive program that will allow many individuals without valid documents to apply for permanent residency. Among those included will be individuals who entered the country legally as temporary workers or international students who then stayed in the country after their visas had expired. In the spring of 2024, the Immigration Minister says he plans to present a proposal to the Cabinet about allowing undocumented immigrants to regularize their status. He emphasizes that there are approximately 300,000 to 600,000 people living in Canada without valid documents, many of which have been working in Canada for decades and have children, but they are unfortunately at risk for deportation due to their informal status. It has been suggested that not every undocumented immigrant will be eligible to apply for permanent residence under this new potential pathway. This includes those who have recently arrived in Canada. It remains vital to Canada to address the shortage of skilled workers that are able to build homes. For this reason, the plan will roll out with construction workers living in Canada without legal documentation. The immigration minister verbalized that he understands that some immigrants who came to Canada legally may feel uneasy about others getting what has been described as a pass, explaining that these are people that are already here, already contributing, and have kids. He continues and says that it makes absolutely no sense that people who have been here for decades and have children have not been able to obtain legal status. He goes on to add that Canada's immigration policy needs refining and tailoring to the reality on the ground. Mr. Miller said that he is planning further reforms to Canada's immigration system to support its integrity, including changes to temporary foreign worker and international student programs, as he suggests areas such as construction and healthcare, and says immigrants are indispensable.
To enhance the experience of international students in Canada, IRCC has announced a series of modifications addressing financial challenges and support for those pursuing education in Canada. Starting this year, the cost of living financial requirement for study permit applicants has been increased so that international students are financially prepared for life in Canada. Starting January 1st, 2024, prospective international students in Canada will need to show that they have access to $20,635 instead of $10,000 requirement, in addition to paying for travel and tuition. The adjustment aims to prevent students from facing financial challenges upon their arrival in Canada. The government also announced the extension to the measure that allowed international students to work for more than 20 hours per week off campus. International students who are already in Canada, as well as applicants who have applied for a study permit, will now be able to work for more than 20 hours per week off campus until April 30th, 2024. The measure was first introduced on November 15, 2022. And was set to expire on December 31st, 2023. It gives students the opportunity to work more than the usual 20 hours off campus while class is still in the session. Additionally, IRCC also announced 2 post-graduation work permit, that is PGWP related announcement. Firstly, the measure allowing international students to count school terms spent studying online toward their future PGWP as long as this time does not make more than half of the students' total time in the program will be extended till September 1st, 2024. Secondly, there will be no further special extension of PGWP program. Immigration Minister Mark Miller says that these long overdue changes will protect international students from financially vulnerable situations and exploitation. That's all for today. Thank you so much for joining us this month. If you are looking for more information and updates about Canada immigration, then please subscribe to our MyConsultant YouTube channel. You can also visit our website MyConsultant.ca, where you can find an authorized immigration and citizenship consultant. I am Tina Batra.
And I'm Tashina Thompson, and we'll see you soon.